Okay, we are streaming. So, yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to describe what I'm doing today. Um, I'm building React Native Fiddle, which is my fork of Electron Fiddle, which does a lot of hacking around to get Electron Fiddle to run React Native macOS instead. And it also does some things that Electron Fiddle doesn't do, such as manage a bundler. And so you can see lots of unhappy bundler stuff on my screen at the moment. So I'll be doing a lot of hacking around in that area. And you may ask, well, what is a fiddle? What is Electron Fiddle? A fiddle is a minimal code demo. And Electron Fiddle is a way to jump between different versions of Electron. And so it allows you to check for regressions and check out new features that have come to the latest version of Electron. And it does all that with the convenience of not having to set up a dev environment. So you have a nice pre-built versions of Electron that you can jump between. And I'm bringing all of that to React Native macOS. There might be a way to do it for React Native iOS, but it's going to be so good for React Native macOS, and it really deserves it. So yeah, we'll be jumping in. So I need to regain my train of thought and figure out where I was. So I have a part of React Native Fiddle, and indeed Electron Fiddle, is the concept of cloning a template. And the moment you want to edit the template, you end up like saving out your new copy of the template. And that new copy needs Metro to be running in that new directory. And while we could copy across the node modules that we're going to need for that, I figured that's crazy. Let's see if we can reuse these node modules with a symlink. If you start symlinking your node modules around, your whole node modules directory, Metro starts getting very, very unhappy. And I know there's unstable symlink support. Guess what? It does nothing. There's absolutely nothing for you here. So, actually, what was this? Yeah, that's my temporary folders. So, what I'm trying to work out is how come when I run Metro in this directory, which has the real node modules in it, everything resolves fine. But when I run Metro in this other directory, deep inside my temporary files, which has a symlinked node modules, why does Metro fail to resolve things? So let's just jump in. I'm going to do a node run start. I'll show you what it's doing at the moment. So have I got, yeah, my apps are as expected. So node is running, it's hit a breakpoint. And I'm interested because the thing I'm about to debug is why it can't figure out that this is a React Native macOS project. So I'm just going to play down to there, and it says, there we go, great. So what I've been doing is a comparison between this editor window, where again we've got a real node modules, and then this editor window, where we've got the symlinked node modules. And here is our smoking gun. When Metro is pointed at symlinked node modules, it comes out with this project only supports, or is only interested in, Android and iOS. Whereas if I run Metro over here with a real node modules, it comes out with a different answer. It comes out for the same function, whether that's hiding line 135. That platform map shows Android, iOS, macOS. That is a hello from, what could that be? From a Chinese name. I think that's a Chinese name. It's like Wang something. Hope I'm getting that right. Wang something long. Then, okay, so what I'm going to do is, so kind of before I came onto the stream, I felt I had the answer to this. I like you from. I am from the UK, but I am based in Japan. So I think, let's see, let's just play this through and you can see what the consequence of this all is. See, the final returned platform map does come out as Android and iOS, and no mention of React Native macOS, despite this being a React Native macOS project. Okie dokie. Yes, I'm English. The English chat, yes indeed. Right, so where was I? Now, we've got the Metro bundler running, and if I start up my Electron, we're going to see what happens when it starts trying to bundle from my Metro instance. It goes ba-da-da-da-da, and we'll just let these breakpoints run through. And we get this big old error. But I think if we actually detached the debugger, we might even see the error show up on this side. So let's open up Electron. Yeah, that's the problem I'm trying to solve. When Metro is running in a directory that has a symlink node modules, we get this ugly red error. But if I run Metro on the same config in a directory that does not have a symlink node modules, but a real node modules, we get a platform map which includes Android, iOS, macOS, which is exactly what we want for our macOS, React Native macOS app. And then the result is we get a perfectly happy React Native macOS app that looks perfect. So I think what I need to do is look a bit closer in this area, and that platform map is concluding that Android, iOS, and macOS are supported because it sees because it returns true here, and we can see what leads it to that. So let's just actually go back, do that again, and you can see it's currently looking for React Native. Let's go through for another iteration. Very good. So speaking to chat, so yeah, nice that we can talk. Are you a software developer? Are you learning React Native or anything? Okay, React Native macOS. So the reason we're able to resolve macOS at all is because our Metro config notices that one of our dependencies is React Native macOS, and then it reads the React Native config file inside that dependency. The package path is right there. Let's step inside here. And there's several different possible names of React Native config. One ends in TypeScript, for example. And it's going to look through each of them. First one being React Native config.ts, and we're going to look for the one that does actually exist. So we'll drop through to here, and it finds it eventually with the .js extension. And if it's on Windows, it'll do some special stuff. But read React Native config on the other side in context. That is never resolving for our React Native macOS package directory. So that is something we want to get to the bottom of. So if it did find it, it would go through here and it would spawn a child process. That's a surprise. Why is it doing that? and it's going to use node and take these arguments. It's going to run, it's going to evaluate React Native config file, because it's not a simple JSON. You can't just parse the JSON. You've got to actually evaluate the JavaScript, and then it will parse out the final string JSON config, and then take the std out of that, and then finally, once it's got the JSON, it's going to include somewhere inside there. You'll see the platform is, oh, I jumped a little too far apparently, but it would say something about macOS inside that. Now, let's try and do that on the other side in our let's just get out of here. Let's do that over here and see why this is failing. Close down our React Native macOS app, open it up again. I know it's called Electron. Oh, we don't even end up in here. Well, that's a clue. Oh no, sorry, this is not a debug terminal. We need to be doing it here. So dismiss that, close that, go back in here, open up. Ah, so we don't even need to connect. We don't even need to open up our React Native macOS app before it will start searching, which is handy, which means I've got less clicking around to do. What is this? I want to learn English and communicate with you smoothly. Sorry. I am also using the software VS Code, and then it is special. Not knowing English is particularly painful. I feel that I will never learn it in my life. You can do it. You can definitely do it. You can succeed at anything you try. And you know, I've learned a lot of people who are coding and English as their second language, and they still come out as very capable coders. Like extraordinary coders actually. And I also have the experience of trying to communicate in a second language in a software engineering context, and yeah, it shouldn't hold you back. It's really good to go to local tech events, go to meetups, and that will give you a chance to meet up with other engineers and practice whatever language you're interested in. Need a friend to help me with my English. Our communication not smooth because I can't speak my language. Sure. Yeah, it can be fun. It can be very hard finding a language partner, and especially with language exchanges, what you really want is one-way immersion, to be honest. A lot of languages exchanges are a give and take, but I find that really efficient. Really, you want a more selfish style where you just get what you want. You get immersed in English, and you don't have to give back in whatever your mother language is. So it just keeps taking you out of the immersion. Welcome viewer number 2. We've got 2 concurrent viewers. That's excellent. Right, package.json. So here we have the React Native, the RNXKit CLI, which is very similar to the React Native community CLI, is looking inside the package.json for this project here, which looks like this. Oh, and it's got no dev depend. Ah! Well, there's your answer. That's your answer right there. I see. I know exactly how to solve this. So it's because it's nothing to do with this symlink node modules directory. That's a big surprise. The thing I'm trying to solve is a different rabbit hole. If I go into Fiddle Electron, the original thing I came to solve, we will find that there is a template file. Fiddle Electron, get package. This is something I was hacking on earlier. If we go into get package in our React Native Fiddle, we will see that we create a synthetic copy of the package JSON. Yeah, just catching up with chat. So yeah, first question, is English easy to learn? This is an interesting question to ask me, as English is my mother language, but statistically, people seem to have no problem. Well, I say no problem. Like, I think, because I've studied a bunch of languages at school. English is a challenging one because it has so many irregular verbs. It has so much irregularity because it's got both German influence, Latin influence, French influence, well, Latin, French, Romance, and that sort of thing. So I think it's very irregular. I think Spanish is a much easier language to learn, and French as well, less corrupted by other languages. So I wouldn't say, I don't feel like English has the right properties to be easy to learn, but every time I meet someone who's been very successful at learning English, it's because they consume a lot of English media, like maybe they just really like Family Guy or Big Bang Theory, and they just watch and watch and watch and watch. And I think it's that there's so much English media available, you can really get immersed in it. And that's what kind of, that's the other side of the scale. That's what makes it an approachable language. Yeah. And I think something that English really has going for it is you learn 26 letters and you can start searching in the dictionary. Whereas with languages like Korean, like that's, I don't know how many characters are in Korean, but you could learn them in a few weekends, I'm pretty sure. And there's a few combinations, but fine. But in Chinese and Japanese, if you don't understand the word, it takes ages to look it up in the dictionary. Absolutely ages, and that will never stop being a problem. So I think there's like a curve of how quickly you can learn a language, and at some point, once you reach a point in English, it starts becoming, you start overtaking how quickly you can grow compared to Japanese. Yeah. Anch is from India, and English is practically baked into everything alongside primary for each state. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing about English. It's very easy to come by. When I say come by, it's you see it everywhere, and so you can't help but get exposed to it. But Ansh's earlier question. So the other day I was working with. I was making a PR to React Native Core. That has now been merged. I'm very happy with that. My first ever React Native Core PR, which makes me a React Native Core contributor, which sounds very impressive. And it will soon be merged into React Native Macos, so it's helped both of them. It's funny, like I came to solve a React Native Macos problem, and yet React Native benefited from it upstream. And so, yeah, let's put that aside. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the dev view is fixed, and now this has all actually been towards a greater project. I am trying to build a thing called React Native Fiddle, which I've not fully shown everyone yet. I've done some limited screenshots and stuff of it. But yeah, everything that I'm doing in these streams and on Twitter right now is all towards a brand new tool to help React Native Macos and React Native Windows become more popular in the ecosystem and get all the help they need. So right now it's such a pain to set up a React Native Macos project and just start playing with it. And so I'm creating a tool that will allow you to jump into React Native Macos. You don't install anything. It just gives you a pre-built environment. You don't need Xcode. You don't need CocoaPods. It's just ready built, and you can just start poking at it and seeing if you really like it. And then then you can share like minimum reproductions of issues via GitHub Gist, and that will really help maintainers, because if you have a bug that you want to report, and guess what, there's lots of bugs to report in out-of-tree platforms, loads of corners need dusting. Anytime you've got a bug, I'd love that we can just make a fiddle and just demonstrate with this tool something that a maintainer can one-click try out on their end and say, oh yes, that's what you're talking about. And then maintainers can help get things fixed, and people with issues can really communicate their issues. Alrighty. Yeah. What's your native language? Oh, I can't copy paste this. I can't copy paste chat unless maybe I use right click. Maybe that's a way to get it working. Alrighty, yeah, so let's, now we can actually go fix some things. So, this will all make sense in a moment. So, this thing I'm working on, React Native Fiddle, it starts with a template, which is a little GitHub repo, which has a package.json and an entry point file and a metric config. It was pretty simple. And for whatever reason, the package.json doesn't get copied across perfectly from the template. I say perfectly. I don't know why they decided to do this. The original project I'm forking, the Electron authors. For whatever reason, they synthesize the package.json with no reference to the original one in the template, and so this dependencies block right here is empty, and that is causing things to fail. So I need to add, so this thing right here, include Electron, evidently is false, and I wonder why that is. And the default is for include Electron to be true. So for, and you're going to hear a lot of Electron here. What I really mean is React Native macOS, but this is supposed to be filling that in. Yet what we're getting in practice is an empty dependencies array. And if only it said React Native macOS in there, our Metro bundler would be correctly resolving. It would be swapping imports, let's say import from React Native, and it'd be re-aliasing those to import from React Native macOS. So why is this happening? Why is include Electron coming out false? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some console log debugging. Now, normally, as you see here, I love doing breakpoint debugging, but React Native Fiddle, or rather Electron Fiddle, is absolutely cursed. If you try to do breakpoint debugging, it adds minutes, absolute minutes to the startup time. It's something to do with their Devtron tool. So all I can do is console log, kill it, console log, that kind of thing. So here we go. I'm going to put a couple of exclamation marks so I can easily find it in the logs with a find command, and then I'll do get package.json, and then the app state is, so this is all just handy logs. Is this all serializable? No, it's a class. Okay, so I should not JSON stringify that. And then the options, I just want to see I really just want to see include Electron, to be honest, but we might as well see include dependencies. So let us, we'll do a JSON.stringify here. The reason I don't shove it in there, in the second param, is just kind of habit from browser development, where you've got the browser console, where if you put an actual reference to an object in there, and it updates later on, that's a live reference. So your console log doesn't take a snapshot of what the thing was at the moment you logged, which is a shame. Often what I much rather want is a snapshot of the thing at the moment. Now, obviously here, that's not going to get mutated later, but it's just a habit I have. Anyway, so we are going to run Electron Fiddle, or rather React Native Fiddle. Okay. Alrighty. So excuse while this takes a while to start up. I'll get back to chat. So yeah, Chinese is a great language. Very what can I say? What am I even going to put? Chinese is a great language. Well, that's. I am jealous that you get to know all the Chinese characters from the beginning. Okay, what software can make friends and learn languages is better to be the kind that can voice and video. I can't understand what you say, so I can only translate it through words. What software can make friends and learn languages? Hello Talk. I mean, Hello Talk is an excellent a made in China app, which is very good for making friends and specifically doing Chinese to English exchanges. Highly recommend that. Okay, where was I? So here's the thing I'm trying to make. So if we, what was I even doing? Oh yeah, I wanted to see those logs. So I've got a get package JSON that I'm looking out for. That hasn't been logged yet. I'll just clear these. I'll click run. We're going to see that log at some point. We didn't even get that far. That's a surprise. I thought we'd get past. But you see the problem I'm getting here is that unable to resolve module React Native. But then why? Get package JSON. Who calls that? Get editor values. So I kind of thought this was used to fill in this because I got the RNX CLI. Yes, it does actually influence that. So why is include electron coming out presumably false? And why is this never getting called at all? So name is going to be outstayed. Am I just... I can't explain this. Saving files to temp directory, saving files there. Why didn't we hit this line? If I stop it and start it again, do we ever hit that line? No, so what is going on? None of that makes sense. Closing that up. And yet, if I just forced, so let's just do this experimentally then. So I can't explain why it would seem that include electron is coming out false, but what I can do is I can just blindly put this in and see if that line is really getting hit. And just, I don't know, the log's not coming through, but that doesn't make any sense. But whatever, let's just rule something out. So let's shove in React Native macOS. Or we could even use app.state.version, to be honest. But I don't know if that's got like a letter V in it. Let's just shove that in there and see if we learn anything. We'll do a 0.2, which is like one higher than what's actually in there. And if we see that 2, we'll know for sure like this R change has an effect. Okay, node run start. Excellent, well done. Enjoy Hello Talk. It's great fun. Okay, up we go. Let's see if this goes any better. So there's include dependencies. Oh, I should have put this like further down because who knows if this can get overridden. But has get package JSON shown up? No, it has not. So we click run. And does our log show up? No, it doesn't. And what temporary file is it creating? It's creating this local copy. It's doing a package here. And look, that line, it's got the 0.79.2, just like we asked for. So why didn't we log get package? Oh, I know exactly why. I know exactly why, and this is very annoying. I wonder if anyone can guess. This thing. Our log is in a different console because this is on the renderer process. So console.log doesn't log out to the main process. So that is our log. So the arguments we were getting in this context were include electron false. Now that is very interesting. And what we can do here, I cannot move this window. Right? What we can do here is actually step back out and ask, who called us? Why was include electron false at that point? Now, unfortunately, the app's in a bit of an awkward state. Like that child process is a bit unhappy, but maybe this will still work. Great, cool. We click start and stop again. We've got include electron, and we know include electron is going to be false. We can see our options have overridden it to false. And if we step out of this stack to get editor values, we can try to understand why that was false in the first place. So this.state has got a bunch of state in it. Include electron is what I'm looking for. Where is it? Hang on. Is this? It's options. There we go. Why was options include electron false? We have to go up the stack even further, but that's fine. Get files, p options, include electron is still false there. If you've got an options object, then take that, otherwise take the default. So we do have an options object, so we go even further up the stack. Save as temp. Still false there. Go further up the stack. Still false there. And then right up to runner, and then the options, still false there. So we go right back up to here, and it's all just because this false. This is false up here. And you know what? We can just make an executive decision and say I want to include at least React Native macros, because that will solve the immediate problem. And then there's a big question, do I include the dependencies as well, and do I let it run a npm install? We shall see. So this file is runner.ts. Let's go find runner.ts. Where's that line? Include electron. True. JB. So note to self. I've changed include electron. I've flipped include electron. This makes sure that we get that the React Native macros dependency gets written into this, which means that RNX CLI can correctly detect that this is that Metro should rewrite imports of React Native to React Native macros. And I'm sure there is a smarter way to wrap these lines, but in years and years of coding, I have never taken the effort to get a plugin that wraps these lines automatically.
This is okay. That is a question. That's a question. If you want to learn Chinese characters, I can teach you. You can teach me English, and I can teach you Chinese characters. Okay. How can I say? Don't worry, I'm I'm fine. I think I can study Chinese characters by myself. I'm okay. But thank you for the effort. Let's see. Righty, get package. Now what? So we can take this line out, and we now know that include electron is going to be forced to true. And then we can, instead of relaunching the node process, and this is so broken. Come on, Chrome, you can do it. You can do it. Right, that, who knows what's going on there. Let's close this. Renderer gets to stay alive. Stop that, but then restart the main process with the new changes, because the hot updates aren't applied until, well, they're just not applied. It does, you can't. I have tried to implement hot reloading for Node.js apps in the past when I was a very young engineer. I don't recommend it. I seriously don't recommend it. It's pretty cursed. Right, now, will this work any better? We clear out our logs. Click run. Not what I was hoping for, but let's open up this new file and see, has it got, yeah, what I wanted, that's what I wanted, so why is this failing? Has the nature of the error changed? Okay. The nature of the error has changed. We are past one error and on to the next one. Better comments extension of VS Code. That is a better comments. 9.5 million. Create more human-friendly comments in your code. You'll be able to categorize your annotations to alert, queries, to-dos, highlights. That's pretty. But if nobody else on my team is using it, it's kind of... Is that why my... Is that... Okay, no, I'm thinking something different. But, does it wrap? Does it wrap comments? That's what I want. Multi-line comments. I think it's pretty. I do like it. Interesting, interesting, interesting. But I have actually never seen an open source project using it before. So, I'd have to get into that habit, and I'd have to tell everyone else to try it out as well. Let's put that aside, but good to know. Right, so we've included Electron, meaning React Native macOS, and we're onto a new metro bundling issue, which is very hard to read. It can't find React. Here's our temporary directory. There's React. Right in the node modules of temporary directory, and I suspect it can't find that because node modules is a symlinked directory, but let's test that hypothesis. So we'll, in fact, you know what, we can, now that we cleared that error, we can actually close up React Native Fiddle for now. Come on. Right, call that a commit. Fiddle electron, runner. Include electron? Yes.
am I on a branch yet? I'm not on a branch. Might as well call this branch. So, RNX CLI branch. This is where we're changing the CLI from React Native Community CLI to React Native X CLI. Doesn't really stand for anything. Extensions, maybe? React Native extensions? Alrighty. Work in progress. Migration to RNX CLI. Okie dokie. Good, good, good. Righty. React Native macOS. So we've fixed one error, and now let's move away from Fiddle Electron for just a moment. What was our most recent directory? We are in... I'm so lost. Local copy. I think we want that local copy. That's the one. Okay, so destroy all other windows. We do not need... How do I close this? It's just got a sharing close window. All right. Whoop, nope. I need that window. I need this window. I need this. I thought... Okay, I've got lucky here. So these temporary folders can get deleted when you stop the fiddle, but because I force killed Fiddle Electron, this got to hang around, so that's very handy actually. So what we're going to do is whatever we're doing in here, we're going to do node run start, and then we no longer need any of this. Goodbye, you are a very good window, thank you very much. Now we've got node run start. We are going to be kicking off the Metro bundler in here. Electron, I killed it, yep. And open up Electron. There we go, and it's going to have the bundling error. And now we can do this like without having Electron fiddle in the way. So, you can't find React. First, let's prove that React is right there. React is there. So it's telling porkies. Which means we need to go fiddle with Metro config. Now, Metro config is a little advanced because we got to support a symlinked node modules. Now, this was working before with React Native Community CLI, and I wonder why it stopped working with RNX CLI. I wonder why. So, we've got our real node modules in watch folders. The entry point is not yet specified, but it defaults to index.js, so that's fine. I've got this. This didn't help at all, but maybe the rules have changed. Let's just double check this. Dismiss. Reloading is broken for some reason. I don't know why. That's a different quest. React still can't be found, so yep, still didn't help at all. Resolver. I wonder if it's overwriting our resolver at some point somehow. So let's jump into debugger. Let's jump over to Metro config. Default watch folders should be interesting, but we want to see the final config it makes in make Metro config, which is what we're using. Yep. So, shall we just have a look at the config before it gets exported? So, start, have a look at that config, and we want to see what the resolver is. Resolver, config. Yoink. Resolver. Dum. I need just a bit more space. A lot more space really. Right, so we were trying to customize node modules paths. That is pointing at the real node modules, not the symlink. Next, watch folders. Okay, I can't explain this then. It's looking at real node modules in both cases. And rewrite request URL is relevant for assets, but we might as well rule that out. Let's just comment this out for a moment. Node run start. We don't actually need to look at that, but whatever. Keep run through. Open node electron. Does it start working? No, it doesn't. So it's got nothing to do with our server. Okay. Close this up. So, why can't it find React when it's right there? And we've got the paths right there. I want to see the wording of that message. Oh. Is it running it twice or something? Let's see. Open electron. Okay, great. It gives us a stack trace which lets us see where it's looking. So we're just going to dive in here, set up a breakpoint on that, and reverse engineer it. Line 172. So we're getting that error right here. We're going to switch to a debug terminal. Node run start. Bada bing. I'm going to remove that breakpoint. Play through. Close that up. Open up our React Native macros app. Now, okay. Fiddles. Yeah, okay, so app.js was asking to import React. That makes sense. Yep. And it couldn't find React within any of the dirt paths. It couldn't find it in the real node modules. Why has one of them got /react on the end? That is curious, and I'm sorry for the small text size, but I need to see a lot to get anything done. So. Options. Do exists is a function that comes from somewhere else. Project root. Oh, okay. No, that's a problem. Surely that's a problem. Because I don't think that's our project root. No. I see what's happened. Is that the CWD? Is that where node? No. Well, whatever. Let's check the hypothesis. Do we specify project root in the metric? It's right there. It is right there. But like, as you can see. Oh no, great, cool. That's the correct project root. That's fine. But I just don't remember it ever being put in caches. Because it's normally in a temporary file, but instead it's in the caches folder, which... Okay. Fine. So it looked in a bunch of places. Oh yeah, okay, right. Of course it wouldn't find it in here / node modules because node modules is a symlink. Why is it bothering looking in there? That's a problem. It's looking inside the symlink, but it doesn't support symlinks. But I told it specifically to look in the, I've told it where the real node modules is. And I think we just looked a moment ago to confirm that, I pointed at the right place. So that's your problem. How come we got this far with it looking inside the symlinked node modules instead of this one? Well, we do want the real node modules. That is in the final path, okay. Right, well, so it looked for all of those. It called dir exists on each of those dir paths, and the last ones that qualified were. So why did it slam React on? Yeah, okay, well that seems, well, why did it fail to resolve them? Because that seems like that path there is correct. Oh no, sorry. I'm very confused. Maybe this dot slash climbing is climbing out to somewhere inconvenient. Curious. Okay, let's go up. Because it seems to have decided already. Once we're in this block, it's already given up, and it's just giving us debug. So actually, I want to go closer to the source. We want to see resolve.resolve. Jeez, that is a stateful function. Jeez. In we go. Sometimes stepping into functions doesn't go too well, so I want to find resolver. Come on. Dot resolve. They don't make it easy. Come on. Resolve is here. Bang. Bang. Right. So 81 folder sorry, just reading chat. Folder node modules as a symlink, and it's getting injected as a potential path to look for. My node modules here symlinks back to a real node modules, yes. Because I'm going to have lots of copies of this template, and I don't want the user to have to install like 500 megabytes every time they make a new template. I just want to reuse one central node modules. It's a symlink. Metro has terrible support for symlinks, even when they say that they support it now. They really don't. I've got so much evidence right here. They just don't, even if you turn on unstable symlink support. As for, and it's getting injected as a potential path to look. It's getting injected as in, yes, I am specifically telling it. I'm actually telling it ignore the symlink path. I am overwriting the node modules paths and saying just look at my real node modules. But I suppose because make metro config, this might be worth looking into actually. Make metro config will be doing some kind of merging, and maybe that's why we have ended up with resolver dot. We've got right. Very good point. Let's try and look into here and just see if this helps. So config.resolver dot, what's that thing called? Node modules paths equals, and we're just going to rule out any possibility of merging. We'll do config.watch folders equals real node modules, and we'll see if that helps. But first, to check that hypothesis, I do actually just want to put a breakpoint here and see what the final resolve config was. But where were we? And we've also got a breakpoint to look forward to over here. That is going to probably get hit all the time. So I'm just going to disable that for now. We'll have that another window for a moment. We'll just destroy all this. Stop, stop, stop. Stop. Release my terminal. Electron's not happy. Come on, what is it doing? Alright, fine. We force quit. Where is that thing? Okay. Right, so checking out that hypothesis, my windows. This is the window, right? Node run start in a JavaScript debug terminal. Go. Config. Now before, we are interested in config resolver node modules paths, and we're going to see if that is what we thought it was going to be. Config resolver node modules path. Oh. Okay, so actually, overwriting this is not going to change anything because it's already what we expect it to be. But let's see if config.watch folders is different. No. Okay, so overriding that is not going to help with anything. Yeah, fine. Okay, so that was never the issue. So we can get rid of that. Save that for later. But we will keep playing through to... Let's re-enable that. Play. Okay. And open up Electron. And we hit this, yes, and what we're trying to resolve here, just check that this is the file React. Not yet. I think we need to be in .app before we reach it, so play through, keep playing, I think, until we get React. Right, now what's it looking for? It is looking for, can we do a local? Where did I find that thing? Where did I find what it was looking for? Dependency. Let's just watch that. Dependency. Can we do a edit breakpoint? Dependency dot name is equal to React. So break when we get that, and then just play through. And undo that for a moment. Cool. It broke on dependency React. Okay. Now we shall play through to resolve. See what the resolve request looks like. I'm not getting anything out of that. That's not going to function. If you've got a function, yes, and okay, you freeze something, and we go into resolve request. What's your name? Right, just in case we do go too far, we'll put a breakpoint there. Go down into here. Platform is where, blah blah blah. Okay. Implementation platform macOS. We've got an implementation. Yep, that's good. Hopefully. Redirect platform. How does this work? I think this is irrelevant. I think redirect for platform, yeah, it just redirects you from React Native to React Native macOS. So fine, that's as expected. And then Yeah. Macos. Big old context. Drop down into resolve. Okay. So. Oh yeah, let's make this conditional so we can come back here again. When module name equals to module name equals React. Okay. Righty. If it's an absolute path, which it isn't, and if it's a relative import, we do some special handling, but this is not any of those, so we're going to skip over that. If it's a subpath import, I don't think it is, I'm not really sure what subpath. Starts with a, yeah, okay, fine. Wait, we went pretty far there. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now, real module name. What is redirect module path, right? Jeez, what is all this? So it's not an absolute path. Containing package. I don't know what any of this stuff is all about, but sometimes if you don't like recognize anything, the best way to proceed is to kind of blast past it until something catches your attention, and then exit and rerun through and kind of narrow down, like bisect what the interesting part. Okay, if it starts with a dot, then you do a relative path lookup. Otherwise, match subpath from main fields. Ah, yeah, okay. I've done one of these before. I think I know exactly what it's talking about. Yes, okay. Yes. Okay, so it's looking inside the package.json of React, and it's trying to figure out which key on the package.json is referring to the entry point file. So this should be fine. Module path is there. Okay. Just put a breakpoint right here. Go down into that and see if we're having some kind of symlink issue. The subpath is React. The package is a bunch of packages. My template package.json. Okay. The values, main fields. Yeah. Let's just. Yes, fine. My main package didn't have any of those, so fine. We return null. Module path. It's just React. Whatever. Okay, fine. Real module name is React. Okay, cool. What is the origin module path? That's our app.js. Yes. Okay. Is real module name? No, it's not relative import. Is it absolute? No, it's not that either. So it's not a direct import. Okay. Keep going. Real module name is React. Yes. I don't know anything about specifiers, but yeah. Haste. Ah, haste is relevant. Yes. Yes, single part, okay. Haste module, no. But this is fine. Haste is only used in React Native, to my understanding, so we skip that. Is it valid packaging? Of course it is. Failed. Okay, so that's interesting, but I don't know whether we should, is this necessarily a haste package? I don't know. But it never threw one of these errors. Okay, we'll hold the benefit of the doubt for now, but just so we know, there is going to be a failed. Oh no, there is going to be something here. It kind of feels fine that it drops through. That's probably to be expected. Okay, fine. So probably no interest in that. Right. Disable hierarchical lookup. False. No modules paths. Okay. Yep. You started there. Disable hierarchical lookup is false. So we're going to do node style module resolution. We're going to climb up all the node modules paths from our candidates. But it's starting at the wrong candidate. Well, we want to go through all the candidates and we hope it finally reaches the candidate we care about. Where's it getting these from? Okay, fair enough. It's climbing up from where it started. But I hope eventually it never tests our candidate. Do I need to put this into extra? Alright, well let's walk through this. See all the candidates. But I think we need our candidate to be the real node modules, not this symlinked node modules. We've got all of these. Candidate. All of these things to look at. All the way up to the root of my file system. But I need it to look in one more place, which is the correct place. Good. So that is going in. And it needs to end in /node modules, not /react, which is good. Okay, so we're actually good so far. This is all Gucci. Now there's a possibility that it's messing up on the space in application support, which did happen to me in an unrelated context in Metro before, but let's see. Okay, so that's what node modules paths does, wouldn't you know? Okay, and then extra node modules is empty, I think. Oh no. Oh! 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 I dare say this might be it. This might very well be it. This might be the one difference that RNXKit Metro config is doing that the original Metro config wasn't. I think it's being helpful by filling in some extra node modules, but we need to help it out instead. Right, let's take a screenshot of that. That is the answer. This just disappears every time you try to take a screenshot. Right, I'll write it down. Extra node modules. Copy value into new window. Yes. Syntax. JSON. Why is it like that? Okay. That's our answer. So we can, well, we might as well, we come all this way. Let's just step through the next bits. Extra stop push. That's a problem. Well, that's certainly problematic. So it's going to look through all of these dir paths by mapping what to absolute paths or something. Let's just see what that comes out as. All dir paths. Slam and react on the end of each of those. But it should find it on that second path. Is it just the fact that it has some problem on the first path and then doesn't bother trying out the second path, which would have worked? Let's see. Candidate. resolve package. What type do we get? Failed is good. Failed is good. Moving on to the next one. So, we would really hope that this candidate right here doesn't fail. What type do we get? Why does that fail? More mysteries. Edit breakpoint. Candidate should be copy this value. Breakpoint. Candidate equals that. So we'll come back here another time, and then the platform is macOS. So why do I fail? Okay. And we should probably put a condition on this breakpoint. What was the original condition? Module name equals React. Yeah, let's just do this. Put conditions in each of these. Okay. Step through a bit. Yeah. Get out of here, I think. Fail to resolve. Alrighty. Yes. And then let's go extra paths. Right, that's all good info for next run through with our new breakpoints. Go. Huh? Why is it resolving? Why is it trying to resolve React twice? Anyway, get out of here. Get out of here. And exit. Right, so now we want to stop on our metro config, have a look at the config, and see if it's got those extra node modules that we were talking about. So config. Extra modules. What's it called? Resolver. Extra. Not node modules paths. Where's it hiding that thing? Extra node modules. Where did you get those? Need more space. Reporter, resolver. Okay. Extra node modules, that is the one. Right, that is all not good. That is all not good at all. So. For const node module in config.extra config.resolver.extra node modules. No, we actually want to do object.entries of all of that. We want to do off, and we want to do, which way around is this? Key value? String. That's unhelpful. It comes out key value, does it? I think that does mean key value. So node module and then node module path. And we are going to say config resolve extra node modules is equals the same thing we're doing here. Node module path dot replace at symlink with the real node modules, and maybe that'll work. Stop all that. Let's just break in there. Why isn't that releasing the app? Just, yeah, React currently pointing at symlinked 1, and we will see as it goes across this that it starts healing each of those. Where was this? Resolver. External modules. And on each iteration, I'm going to rewrite those. Yes. 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 All right. Hopefully that'll help a bit. Play through. No longer need final config and play. So far, haven't hit that breakpoint. Force quit that. Okay. Maybe hit a breakpoint there. Right, we are gonna try resolving this. So I was interested in not interested in that. Let's just disable that breakpoint then. So we're now on React. Do we do any better this time? We've got external modules. That's got all our symlinks now, I hope. No, our real paths. Does this go any better? Please actually work this time, otherwise I will be out of ideas for a while. That's a good candidate. Please resolve it. Please resolve it. Instead of stepping over, I'm going to step into this. Let's see. Ooh. That's interesting. Okay. Absolute path, yeah, fine. Platform macros context, yeah. Bum, ba, bum. Oh, please don't fail. Resolve, maybe? Gee, why? This is not good. Why is Metro so complicated? Alright, fine. We shall see where that takes us. Got any other options? I think we just play through and see if it throws or resolves. Through, it just can't find it. I mean, that's your extra paths, but that's for... Let me try this path out. Open the directory. It's right there. It's right there. I can find it. Why can't Metro find it? Real path. Those look pretty similar to me. Users, Jamie, library, application support, Electron Fiddle, templates. What's its problem? What actually is its problem? This is ridiculous. Extra paths. what's my condition here? We search where candidate is. Yeah, fine. All right. Yeah, we'll just have to come back through again and try again. Oh, we found something. We found Babel runtime something. We're finding a bunch of other stuff, so coming back in for React. Try resolving it. What? Okay, fine. We'll go through here. Module path is what exactly? Yeah, sure. Redirected path is unchanged. Yeah. Dir path file name. Yeah. Get a result of whether it ends with separator. Oh, we went into resolve file right there. Right. Well, yeah, okay. File name. Edit breakpoint. File name equals React. Where were we? Yeah, we'll just have to find that next time. Equals package path equals that. All right, play. I know it's not an asset file. It's not a source file. Or is it a source? Well, it's the name of a module. So yes. Oh, I get it. All right, it's failed for source file. Right. So we need to fail. That's fine. That's expected. Package entry point. That sounds more relevant. Okay. Grab that. Edit path. Yeah. File system lookup. That sounds relevant for the package path of React. Okay, cool. Let's see what that does. Dive in here. File system.lookup of this path. What does look? Let's just dive inside there. Normalize the path. Oh. Relative to what exactly? Okay. Mixed path is going to be. Oh, come on, let me select it. Right. Edit breakpoint. Mixed path is equal to all of that. Just deal with that white space. Oh, that's fine. Right, so we can look up React by its normal path. Jeez, this is complicated. I would hope it falls into its directory. Oh, I really don't want to step over all of this. Let's just do that. Clicky, click, click, and see how it goes. Oh right, yeah. There's lots of like climbing up. Yeah, I don't like this stuff. Where are we actually starting relative to? Options. Oh, fine. Segment name is ... which, okay, maps to circular. Alright. Segment node is something. Come on. Jeez. So we're probably going to go up a few directories until we get one that isn't a ... Right, what's this? Segment node is templates, which is here. Okay. Clearly going up and up and up and up or something. What is it even doing? Is it looking at everything inside node modules? Well, if we see React in there, that's a good start. We see React is. Right, let's get out of here. Let's get right out of this function. That doesn't exist. I think anything where Metro has to dig out of this current directory is rather untested. This is a shame. I am curious though. If we just gave up on the RNX kit CLI. No, hold on to, we still want the CLI, but if we gave up on the RNX kit metro config, how would that go? Right, let's, thought I killed that. There we go. Right, start again. Oops, not that. Just double checking. Right, yeah. So that's where we are. Change our metro config. So what instead we're going to do is we want to get the special resolver from RNXKit. Because that's actually all we came for. Out of tree. Is something around here? Default config. We want this out of tree platform resolver, and that's kinda the main thing we care about. So how about we make a commit of what we were working on. RNX CLI, RNX metro config. Where's that thing hiding? This thing right here. I'm lost. I'm lost. It's none of these. Is it hiding down here? There we are. Change this package JSON. Yes, we want RNX CLI and metro config. X kit / metro config. Okay. Yes, so for reasons I will explain another time, we've got node modules committed to this particular Git repo. And I do actually want to pin that exact number. -lock.json, and we'll just go up here and fix those. Okay. Install RNX kit / CLI and RNX kit / metro config. Okay, go. Slowly push. And a massive node modules folder. Okay. So we've got a backup, finally, of that metro config. And we're going to continue fiddling with this one here. So we actually want to put that back to what it was before. So if we go into file tree, grab this old config. Which bits do we want? Which bits do we not want? I can't remember what I ended up changing, but let's... So I know I shoved a project root in there, but that isn't that like a unique thing to... I know, it's just platform that's unique to it. Right. So... put this back to what it used to be. React Native metro config. And we are just going to nick one thing from RNX kit metro config, which is the special out-of-tree platform resolver. Where does that live? Does that get exported? Unfortunately, no, it doesn't, but that's fine. We can grab their default config. Get default RNX kit config. And we'll do that, giving it the same project root. That. Okay, and we'll pull out of that the resolver. Oh. Why does it give you an array? Fine. Yeah, fine, we can take an array. Let's just do that. Oh, is this not actually exported? It's a default. It's a default import, that's fine, okay. Yeah, okay. Huh? Oh, I see. It's a default of a different file. So does this re-export get default config? That is a good question. Get default config. No, this is going to have to be from /source/ default config. Okay. Ah, great, it is also named. That's better. Something like that. Great, okay, that's exactly what we want. And then now the typings are working, and so what we're going to do is we are going to grab out the resolver, which has the thing we came for, which is the outer tree platform resolver. Which is placed on resolve request. Okay. We just want to steal that. The available platforms as well. Yeah. Okay, let's take that resolve request and shove that onto our resolver. Does this fix things after all that time? Alright. Give that a try. No! Why is it looking for window? But that got real far. Who's asking for window? I could do with a stack. Copy that. Is that it? Who is showing window? Okay, I see some full refresh stuff, so I'm just wondering if React Native Web crept in here or if React crept in here and it's just somehow it's clearly got paths to React Native macros. But this screen dimensions thing, doing dimensions.window, well that's fine, isn't it? Okay, so who's looking for window? It is, if I take that and look at line 50,000, go to line 53,580, 27, React DevTools. who is responsible for that? Let's search in our real node modules. React Native is partially responsible for that. React Native Macros has also got that, so I wonder what's going on there. But we got a lot closer. So our resolve request, I just wonder if we're falling into here. So I'm gonna put a breakpoint, at least in here. Go into our debug terminal, start that up again, and then dismiss that, quit that, reopen it. Right. Platform. Macos. That's a good sign. Platform does not equal Macos. Will be interesting. And then let's see how it handles this bit. Implementations. Yes, good, healthy. Right, need to macros. Okay, redirect to platform. Yeah. So because this is a relative import, that doesn't actually change. Okay. That's fine. Do a breakpoint on module name does not equal modified module name. And then play. Let's forget about those. Yeah, cool. It modified React Native to React Native Macos. That's perfect. Okay. Let's get rid of disable this. Okay. Disable all our old React resolution points. Disable. Okay. Yeah, again, all seems healthy. So let's just disable this, and then I'm not sure we're really gonna break on anything at this rate. Disable. Yeah, didn't break on anything then. But it might have timed out or something. I've forgotten what the issue was. Something to do with window. Why is it looking for window at all? Because of React DevTools. Why is it interested in React DevTools? Is it something RNX CLI does? What does dev do? Doesn't seem anything that RNX CLI is doing, so it's got nothing to do with tools from React Native, I imagine, but yeah, probably not. Oh, I do think I need that. I do think I actually need get modules run before main module. That is relevant. Normally. Okay. Serializer, get modules. One before main module, okay. Serializer, yeah. Let's take that as well. That looks good. Resolve platforms. Platforms. It's going to be. Okay, let's have that. This. I think that is better than before. Oh, I don't want the debug server actually. Let's get rid of that. Right, start up the dev server. Kill that. And then try again. No way! What? Oh, we're so back in business. We're so back in business. We actually did some Metro debugging successfully. That's so good. That's so good. I hope anyone watching was actually still awake at that moment. That was glorious. Okay, cool. We are back in business. That is getting committed into Metro config. Yes, Ansh saw that. It needs to be like when you're watching a football match and you're washing the dishes and in the other room the TV goes and he scores and everyone suddenly has to run back to watch the action replay. I'm so lost. React Native Fiddle repro. That is the window I'm looking for, and not this one. Did I fold it down? This is what we want. So, Metro config. Paste that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Use the out of tree support from @rnx kit /metro config. Okay, push that, and then I do think we jump back to here. That at this point is totally good to be, wait, where is it? Reset to there. Push OXY up. Get rid of RNX CLI branch, because that is doing everything we need to do. Okay, so we now have a new template, and I just need to be sure that we didn't miss anything else out in the template that we're going to regret. So we've got metro.config.js across properly. Did we bring this reporter across? Reporter made it in. When did I commit that? Somewhere in this massive commit. Yeah, okay. So reporters made it in safely. Package.json should save those dependencies. I want it to point our in it React Native macOS 0.1 actually. npm install save. But actually, does this even matter? Are these just kind of fake dependencies? I'm trying to remember how I've rigged this all up. Okay, yes and no. So the React native code is different. Okay, right. So the correct thing to do is do a save exact of 99.1, which catches up with something else we were doing. Okay. Because I need to match what we provide in RNM prebuilds. Now, RNM prebuilds file tree package.json is referencing and React Native 7.9.6. So, yep, cool. All right, we're now caught up with our template is caught up with the thing we're trying to represent, if that makes any sense. Okay, install RNM native macOS at 0.79.1. Yeah. Okay, push with that. And now, this file right here, this I've been editing without source control, so we need to be really careful here before we delete it. If I copy that over, we'll get to see a git diff. Project root, blah, blah, blah. Some white space there. Okay. Some deletions. See that in color. Yeah, okay. I think that's fine. So we know Metro, all our changes to Metro config got carried across. What else did we install? We ended up installing RNX kit, CLI and Metro config. Did those come across? I think we did. They did. Cool. And did I install anything else I've forgotten about? Oh yes, there's a bit of config in here. Bum, 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 bum. So we could actually shove this in. Bundle Hermes true. So in the end, I don't think we actually, none of that actually ended up mattering. That's easy enough to get back. Oh, and in fact, the thing that I just got working was ultimately this terminal window, which, yeah, didn't have any of that, so keep that out. We'll know how to get that back easily enough. And then finally, we just delete this altogether, so that next time our Electron Fiddle opens, it gets it re-downloads a template. So, quit running that. delete that template after I close that window. Right, good. Delete template. Excellent. Now we go over to Fiddle Electron. Any pending windows? Right. Fiddle Electron, we do a node run start. Just make sure there's no Metro windows. Okay. Node run start. So it's blocking the main thread while it downloads the template, which we just pushed. I didn't design it, so I think it really should actually like display some UI at this point. But my templates are a heck of a lot bigger than theirs. I commit node modules to source. We both have skeletons in our closets. So if we try running this, how's that going to go? Please work. Yes! Okay, very good. Very good. But that's only half of the journey. Can I make a change here? And does it get reflected over there? Secondary click. I need to find some. I find it so hard to deal with this template. Come back to see your edits. Okay. We're gonna write the clock time. It's 1:41. And save. And it's gonna prompt me to choose a location to save into. I'll save into Fiddle Try, and it's going to relaunch the dev server in that new location, and anything could happen. It could just explode. Whoa. Okay, so yes! No way is this working. Now, for extra points, if I save, yes! We round trip, so we stop, we run it again. Is it going to say 142? No, that's so good. 143. I didn't expect it to relaunch the dev server there, but fine. As long as it doesn't do it a second time, that's fine. That's a small price to pay. Okay, very cool. So we can stop, and we can jump back to a previous version. Run again. And this is the version of React Native macOS that has a bug in it. So you can know it's 0.79.0 because it's got the bug that I fixed live on stream. "30 seconds is the expected wait time before it gets through all that. $145, and what I've learned is if you try editing this here, your first save is going to move from the local copy to your specified save directory, which is very strange. So that's just the way they've sort of designed it, and that's the quirks I've got to work with. As you can see, it's swapped over to my Fiddle Try directory. And then we save again, and it stays in Fiddle Try, and you get nice hot reloads, fast refreshes, That's so good. It's acceptable. It's finally acceptable now. That's super good. .48. 9. Reload. Yeah. 1, 2. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is now slightly usable. Very, very happy with that. And I'm very happy I've got some seriously hard stuff out of the way. That was not easy. Okay, let's commit some stuff. There must be some pending stuff that needs. So we've got some logs, need committing. I think stash these changes. Those are just logs. Close down fiddle. Down you go, come on. Terminating. Give me my CLI. Come on. Line break. Alright, fine, it's not gonna do it. We'll tell main. We just git branch dash f main to head. There we go. Push main. Delete iron CLI branch. Now, all our pending changes are pushed, and if anyone jumped into repo and started operating right now, there's nothing that's only living on my side, so I can finally close some windows. I can close this temporary window. So glad we solved that. Window doesn't exist. Close that. Don't save. Fiddle electron. Clear that. Clear that. Right, we're down to just those two. Fold that up. Fold that up. Very good. What a ride. Jeez, that was seriously hard. But it gets a little bit more usable each time. Cool. How many commits have we done to this so far? Been working on this for, alright, only a few weekends. Not bad going, to be honest. To get this far. Alright. And that means I can also close that up. Close all these IXK windows. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming along. I can't actually see who is still participating. But if it is Ansh, if Ansh is still there, thank you very much for keeping me company. And hope to have you along next time. Whenever I do it, I don't have regular times, just when I turn out to be free. I don't like doing this. So, alright, I'm very tired, as you can see on the clock. Yeah, Ansh, awesome. Glad you are still hanging in there. Alright, I'm going to bed. As you can see from the time, it's very late, but I'm very, very happy with the results there. Alright, good night.